I got home beat after a long Friday, dropped my keys in the dish, kicked off my boots, and sank onto the couch for 10 minutes of nothing. The TV glowed with some news panel arguing about traffic. I closed my eyes. From the kitchen, Jenna called out, bright and thin like a bell you want to throw across the street. "Look at him, America's hardest worker, horizontal by 6. "Give me 8 minutes, I muttered, arm over my face. 8 minutes to recover from opening Excel? Should I fan you? Or call a forklift? I opened one eye. I was up at 5. The warehouse audit ran long. She leaned in the doorway, wiping a spotless counter. "Mark, you manage boxes on a spreadsheet. It's not the mines. Still brings in the mortgage." She smiled at the TV, not at me. "Barely. But hey, we love a man with potential." That one landed. She grinned like it was a sitcom, and we all had laugh tracks. I sat up, rubbed my jaw, and decided not to answer. I'd learned that answering just fed it. When I stayed quiet, she always wrapped it in cotton. "Oh, come on," she sang. "Don't get sulky. I'm playing. You know I don't mean it." I stood, headed to the sink to rinse a glass. "I know what you mean. Don't start," she warned, soft but sharp. I didn't. I finished the water, grabbed my gym bag I'd left by the door this morning, and hung it on the back of a chair. "I'm going to the late lift tomorrow before work. New schedule." She blinked. "Since when?" "Since now." I checked my phone, shot a quick text to Luis about moving our Saturday drywall plan. "And I'll handle my meals this week. You don't need to plan around me." "So I'm the problem. That the vibe?" She flicked the towel back over her shoulder. "You know I'm joking when I mess with you. Jokes don't need a weekly calendar. Drama doesn't either," she said, and drifted back toward the hall. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have packed that night. The next morning I woke before dawn, wrote a budget split on a yellow pad, and laid 2 debit cards on the table. One was the joint, the other was new, in my name. I left a note. "I'll cover the mortgage and utilities. You cover groceries in your car. If we buy anything together, we agree first." She texted a row of question marks, then a selfie with a pout like she'd been wronged by gravity. At the office, my boss handed me an extra layout for a weekend shipment. I called Jenna to say I'd be late. She picked up on the second ring. "You're always late lately." "I'm always working lately." "On what, stapling?" "On keeping the lights on." "Relax," she said quickly. "I'm kidding. Don't get your feelings in a knot. You know I hate that phrase. Then don't hand me the setup." I stared at my monitor, counted to 6. "I'll be home by 7. Don't wait dinner." "You say that like I'm cooking a 5-course. We're fine." She let the silence sit. "Love you," she added lightly, like a tip you give when you might not. "Love you." When I got home at 7:30, I rode the elevator with Olivia from 3B. Tall, neat ponytail, the kind of calm that makes you adjust your posture. We'd said hi a few times in the lobby. She held a reusable grocery bag and a package from the leasing office. "Long day?" she asked. "Seems like they all are." "Mine too. I'm Olivia." She offered a hand. "Mark." We shook, doors opened, and she stepped out. Her key caught in the lock and stuck. She jiggled it. "No dice." She tried again, more gently, then exhaled and knocked her forehead once against the door. "Of course." "Want me to try?" I asked. She looked relieved. "Please. You'd be a lifesaver." I took the key, felt the cylinder catch. "Your lock is dry. You have any graphite?" "Probably not. I have basil and stubbornness." I laughed, twisted lightly back and forth, and the key came loose with a click. I handed it back. "You're good," she said. "Thank you. You're very attentive. Warehouse guys know their way around stuck things." "Noted." She smiled. Soft but direct. "Good night, Mark." "Night." I stepped into our place and found Jenna at the island with 2 friends I didn't know. Laughter floated like perfume. She waved me in. "Ladies, this is my husband. Don't worry, he's harmless." She winked at them. "Hi," I said. "I brought nothing. I'm the worst." One of them giggled. Jenna patted the stool. "Sit. Tell them what you do." "I run logistics at the East Site." Jenna cut in. "He gets paid to label boxes. Dream big, right?" The women looked at me the way people look at bad art and say it's interesting. I took a breath. "You know," I said evenly, "I'd rather talk about your new yoga class than my boxes." "Ooh, sensitive," she teased. "I'm just playing, babe." "Then play nicer." I pushed the stool back an inch and grabbed water from the fridge. Her friends exchanged looks. Jenna changed gears so fast you could hear it grind. "I'm messing with him," she told them. "He knows I adore him. He's a champ." Her hand brushed my shoulder like a credit card swipe. They left 10 minutes later. Jenna stacked plates in the sink with a clatter. You embarrassed me, she said without turning around. You introduced me like a gag. It was funny. They laughed. They laughed at me. Because you made it awkward, she threw back, voice bright like a blade. We're done with that, I answered calm. New rule. I'm not your punchline in your kitchen, at your girls' night, or anywhere else. If you do it again, I'll leave the room. If you do it in public, I'll leave the place. She stared at the faucet as if it answered for me. Then she shut the water off and wiped her hands. Her tone softened like a hand towel. Come on. I was out of line. I'll make it up to you. How? I'll cook tomorrow. Your favorite. No friends. No jokes. She slipped her arms around me from the side. I'm sorry. I let myself relax an inch. All right. The next evening the table was set, candles, and all the show. She plated steak and roasted potatoes. She poured me water, then touched my sleeve. I talked to my sister today, she began carefully. She thinks I should be nicer to you. That true? I lifted an eyebrow. Don't push it, she said, but softer, almost playful. I'm serious, Mark. I've been stressed. I'm taking it out on you. I'm going to do better. I cut a piece of steak. Okay. For 20 minutes we ate like civilized people. Then my phone buzzed with a text from Luis about pickup times. Jenna glanced at it. Is that your girlfriend from the warehouse? She smirked, then caught herself. Kidding. Kidding. See, I can stop. I set the phone face down. Thank you. She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. I mean it. 2 days later, the elevator doors opened and Olivia was there again, hair damp from a run, earbuds dangling. Hi, Mark. Hey. Your building smells like detergent tonight, she joked. Could be worse. Could be cabbage. I smiled. How's the lock? Better. I had maintenance look at it. They said whoever lived there before me liked brute force. Sounds like half the city. She paused, then nodded toward the stairwell window looking into the parking lot. Is that your truck? The gray one. Yeah. It's clean. That tells me you're either organized or bored. Organized. Thought so, she said. Nice to see. The doors slid open to our floor. Jenna stepped out of our apartment right then with a bag for the trash, saw us, and stopped like a teacher catching a note in a desk. Hi, she announced, a little too bright. Neighbor chat. Elevator small talk, I said. Olivia, this is my wife, Jenna. Olivia offered a polite hand. Hi, Jenna. Jenna gave a smile that didn't touch anything. Hi, Mark, trash chute's full, so do the back one. And don't scratch your delicate hands. Olivia's eyes flicked to me, then to Jenna, then back to me. I'm going to head in. Have a good night. You too, I told her. Jenna walked 2 steps past me and whispered, You enjoy that? You like the attention? I like being treated like a person. By a stranger. By anyone. She laughed once. Relax. I'm playing. I'm not. She dumped the bag at my feet, as if the floor was my job description. Take it out. Try not to get lost with your new fan club. I carried the trash down the back stairs in silence and added a new rule to my head. No more standing there and taking it in corridors. If she started, I ended the scene. Saturday, our friend Carl hosted a backyard hang at his rental near the river. A dozen people, coolers, kids tearing across the lawn. Carl's the kind of guy who speaks in baseball references even when you're talking about coffee. Big hitter, he called when I walked in. You on grill duty? I trust you with fire. I can manage meat. Jenna trailed me with a salad bowl and that smile she used when she'd picked out a new audience. A couple of Carl's neighbors I didn't recognize were setting cornhole boards. Everyone, this is Jenna and Mark, Carl's wife, Dana, said. He's the logistics ninja. Jenna laughed. Ninja is generous. Accountant for boxes is closer. Dana winced. I meant it as a compliment. I set the bowl down and looked at Jenna. You need new material. She shrugged like a comedian bombing on purpose. It's a joke. Carl handed me a spatula. I'm gonna get the buns. You're in charge. He leaned in low. You good, man? I'm about to be. He nodded, didn't ask. At the grill, smoke curled up and the meat hissed. Jenna slid next to me, whispered like we were co-conspirators. Don't get moody. You made a rule. I hear you. Then live by it. She smiled at Dana across the yard. You're so intense lately. Lately? I echoed, watching the stakes. Here's what's changing. After tonight, we're done with couple events for a while. I'm not doing gatherings where I'm a target. She blinked. Excuse me. You heard me. No more performing our marriage for a crowd. We have the neighborhood barbecue next Saturday. I'll go for an hour. If you turn me into a bit, I'll leave. If you push, I'll go alone and be friendly because I actually like our neighbors. Up to you. She shook her head like she couldn't believe the weather. You're serious? As a heart attack, I said, flipping stakes. And we're done with the weekly check-ins that turn into scorecards. We're back to basics. You handle your lane, I handle mine. We talk like adults. We don't weaponize the past. She made a face. You sound like a podcast. Maybe hear the tune, I said. Carl came back, set down buns, and deliberately switched topics. You guys want the good news? Dana scored a discount for the campsite in June. Hold that, Jenna said quickly, grabbing the lifeline. We'll see. Budget's tight. Budget's fine, I answered, set the spatula down, wiped my hands. We're splitting expenses. We can afford to show up when there's respect. Dana looked between us, uncertain. Carl gave me a tiny nod. You drew a line. Good. On the drive home, Jenna spun the radio dial and didn't stop moving it, station to station, like she could change the channel on us. You embarrassed me, she said finally, looking at the windshield. I told the truth. You made me look like a witch in front of our friends. You did that job without me. She laughed once without joy. Nice. Real nice. Back at the building, we stepped into the elevator. Olivia slid in at the last second with a small potted plant in a cardboard sleeve, ponytail loose now, weekend sweatshirt. Hey, she said to both of us, even and polite. Hi, I replied. Cute plant, Jenna chirped. We're doing plants now. That's fun. Trying to keep this one alive, Olivia answered. It doesn't talk back. Jenna smiled, but her eyes didn't. That's the dream. The elevator dinged. Olivia stepped out, nodded. Have a good evening. You too, Jenna tossed. Then turned to me once the doors closed. She's obvious. She said hi. She glows when you talk. You should try it, I said quietly. The week rolled forward. She was sweet 2 days running. Kissed my cheek when I left, asked about my job without the punchline. Brought me coffee to the couch after work and tucked my feet under a blanket like we were 60 and stable. That was the mid-turn, her soft reset whenever I set a boundary. I didn't push it away. I also didn't let it rewrite the pattern. Friday night before the neighborhood barbecue, she came into the living room in a sundress and earrings I'd bought 2 anniversaries ago. Do I look all right? She asked. You look great. She held my gaze. I'm going to be good tonight. I promise. I hope so. Are you really timing us? She teased lightly. I'm timing my patience. 1 hour. More if it's decent. She curled her lip. You think I can't behave for an hour? I think we'll find out. The courtyard was strung with cheap lights. Folding tables lined the fence with bowls of pasta and chips in every shade of beige. Kids zipped around with sidewalk chalk. Carl and Dana were there. So were Mrs. Raymond with her dachshund, the new couple from 2D, and Olivia, who arrived with a tray of lemon bars and a casual wave. I took grill duty again because handling fire was easier than handling small talk. Dana hovered nearby with iced tea. You all right? She asked under her breath. I'm fine. You look like you're counting. I am. Jenna drifted in and out of conversations, bright and charming, the version of her that wins raffles without buying a ticket. She joined me by the grill and bumped my hip with hers. Look at you, king of meat, she joked, but the tone was soft, not barbed. Need water? I'm good. She turned, saw Olivia at the drinks table talking with Carl about a home repair, and watched for a beat too long. Then she looked back at me with that spark. Not warmth, not fun. Spark like a match. So, she called out louder than necessary. How's it feel to be the hot item tonight? Our neighbor's practically writing you a poem with her eyes. Carl coughed. Dana's smile froze. Olivia glanced over, then calmly went back to her conversation with Carl. I didn't turn. I laid a burger, flipped a steak, set the spatula down. You're an adult, I said. Act like one. Oh, big man. She grinned, pushed closer. You love it. Admit it. Not even a little. You sure? Because wow. Jenna. I cut in. No heat, just final. Don't do this. Not here. Why? It's funny. She snapped her fingers like a late-night host. Relax. I'm playing. Stop. She looked around for agreement and found only faces watching the grill. She took a breath, then went for the thing she'd been circling for months. I could drop you right now, she said, laughing as she said it, like it was punchline, not provocation. I could just be done. The courtyard fell quiet. You could hear the sizzle. I heard my own heartbeat like a metronome buried in meat smoke. Olivia's voice came from behind me. Calm. Tired. Finally. Jenna's smile disappeared. Her eyes cut to Olivia, then to me. Excuse me. Olivia met her look, then let it go. Do what you say. Wow, Jenna breathed. The fan club speaks. I picked up the spatula, set it down again, and in that small, dumb motion understood every mile behind me. I handed the tongs to Carl without looking up. Mind finishing? Got it, he said quietly. I walked across the grass, through the gate, up the path to our building. I took the stairs, unlocked our door, pulled out the rolling suitcase from the closet, and set it on the floor. Shirts, jeans, work polos, toiletries. In 10 minutes, the living room looked like a packing list. The front door burst open. Jenna stood there, breath fast, earrings slightly askew. What are you doing? Her voice was small and high. Hey, stop. I was joking. I zipped a compartment. No, you weren't. Mark, stop, she pleaded, stepping over the suitcase. Please. I lost it. I shouldn't have said that. I was mad. She was disrespectful. You know I didn't mean it. I held her gaze. I know you perfectly. That's the problem. She reached for my arm. Don't do this. Don't make a scene. We can talk. We've done nothing but talk, I answered. I'm done being the warm-up act. I'll change, she rushed. I'll talk to someone. I'll stop with the jokes. I'll do whatever you want. I want respect that doesn't need a warning label. She started crying. Not the loud kind, the quick, practiced one. Please don't go. I lifted the suitcase upright. I told you the rule. You crossed it at full volume with the neighbors holding plates. I panicked. You performed. I rolled the suitcase past her. She grabbed the handle, then let go. Where will you even go? A place with quiet. Is there someone else? Is that what this is? No, I said. There's no one. There's just a line. I stepped into the hall. She reached the doorway, voice breaking in a new register. Mark, don't walk away. I paused, looked back once. We're done being a joke. I took the elevator because it felt honest. The doors closed on her hallway, her framed prints, the dent in the baseboard we always said we'd fix. I walked out to my truck, loaded the suitcase, and drove to a small furnished rental 15 minutes away that I'd toured on my lunch break that week after writing those rules. That was my other initiative, a contingency plan, ready if the line broke. The place smelled like fresh paint and new carpet. No photos. No history. Peace. I slept like a man who finally stopped holding a door closed in a windstorm. Saturday morning, I filed paperwork. No drama. No speech. I put my ring in my desk drawer. I changed the lock screen on my phone from a wedding photo to the river near the job site, gray and honest. By noon, my phone was a bomb. Please talk to me. That wasn't fair of me. I wasn't thinking. I can't breathe without you. At 2, a longer one. I'm sorry. I know I've been cruel. I don't know why. I will fix it. I'll call someone Monday. Please don't throw us away over one mistake. I didn't answer. I set the phone face down and went to the hardware store for a toolbox for the rental. On the way back, I grabbed a sandwich and ate it standing at the counter, reading the lease. My hands didn't shake. It wasn't anger. It was done. Around 5, a new text pinged. Unknown number. Hey, it's Olivia from 3B. Dana told me you left last night. You okay? I stared at it a second, then typed back. I'm out. I'm fine. If you need anything, plant watering, spare coffee, quiet conversation, I'm around. Thanks. I'm laying low. Understood. I'm sorry the courtyard became a stage. You deserved better than that. Appreciate it. An hour later, Jenna tried another angle. I'm at your door. Please. I didn't answer. 10 minutes after that, a knock. I didn't move. Another note slid under my door. I love you. I'm sorry. I will change. I took a photo of the note, sent it to myself, then threw it away. That night, I made a simple dinner and watched a documentary about woodworkers who never show off. I slept again. Sunday, Olivia texted, I have extra lasagna. No pressure. I wrote, thank you, but I'm okay. She replied, understood. Rain check. Monday at work, Luis stopped by my desk. He's my friend, drywall weekends, and football on TV without analysis. Dana gave me a heads up. You good? I'm good. She really said that? Out loud. At volume. He nodded slowly. You don't come back from that. I'm not trying to. He bumped my shoulder with a fist. I've got a spare room if you need it. I'm set. Appreciate you. At lunch, my phone buzzed again. I'm at the therapist. I'm trying. I typed. I hope you find what you need. I'm done. She replied instantly. You can't be done. We're married. I wrote back, we were. Then you used it as a bit. I'm not staying for the rerun. She sent a photo of tissues on a coffee table. Then, I'll be at the barbecue committee tonight to apologize to everyone. I'll tell them I was wrong. Do what you want, I wrote. I won't be there. That night, a softer message. Can I bring you soup? You always like my soup. I stared at that one longer. It was all the midterms packaged into a bowl. I answered, no. Please stop coming over. Text email only for logistics. Rent, utilities, keys. That's it. I blocked her number for an hour, unblocked it to check nothing burned down, then blocked it again when she started with the call storms. 10 calls in 20 minutes, like she could battering ram her way back into normal. I turned the phone off and went for a walk along the river. The air was cold. My head was clear. Wednesday evening, as I hauled a small shelf up the stairs to the rental, Olivia appeared at the end of the hall with a paper bag. I swear it's not lasagna, she said. It's just coffee beans and oranges. Welcome to the block, kit. I leaned the shelf against the wall and smiled. Thank you. No pressure, truly. I know your world is on fire. It's not on fire anymore, I said. It's quiet. She nodded. Good quiet. Yes. She glanced at the shelf. Need a hand. I've got it. Then I'll leave these by your door. She set the bag down. If you ever want to talk about something that isn't your marriage, my balcony has chairs. I'll keep that in mind. I did. 2 days later I texted, balcony open? She answered, sunset is decent. Bring your opinions on music. Her balcony was small and overlooked the parking lot and a strip of trees beyond it. She poured seltzer into plastic cups. We talked about traffic, about a neighbor who ran his leaf blower at odd hours, about work routines that kept you sane. She didn't ask for the story. I gave her what I was willing to. She liked to turn everything into a bit, I said at last. Olivia took a sip. Some people think teasing equals intimacy. It equals distance when it doesn't land. She looked at me directly. It equals disrespect when it keeps going after you ask it to stop. Yeah. We listened to a train in the distance. She nudged a small planter with her foot. For what it's worth, she said. I didn't say finally to start a fight. I said it because you needed someone to say out loud what everyone already knew. I know, I said. Thank you. We met on that balcony 3 more times over 2 weeks. Short, clean conversations, no heavy confessions, no fishing. She had a way of sitting still that calmed the air. I like that. She laughed at my dry comments. Not because they were jokes, but because they were true. Meanwhile, Jenna shifted tactics. She sent a photo of a new journal with the caption, I'm working on myself. Then a photo of a book with sticky notes. Then a long message about her childhood, like context was an eraser. Then, when I didn't respond, another soft turn. I miss you. I'm cooking your favorite. I left a container at your door. I opened the door to find a plastic tub with a sticky note. Please. I didn't bring it inside. I took a picture, texted, don't leave things at my door. Then I carried it down to the building's shared fridge with a sign that said free. Someone took it within an hour. She tried one more play, the big one. She showed up at my job. I was in the loading bay reviewing a pallet count when Louise stepped around the stack with a look. She's here. I walked out into the main office. Jenna stood by the reception desk with a paper bag and a face scrubbed of anything sharp. Mark, she murmured, stepping toward me. Please hear me. This is work, I said. You need to leave. I brought you lunch. Give it to the front desk. They'll share. Can we talk for 5 minutes? No. New rule, we don't mix. No showing up where I earn my check. She swallowed. I'm trying to fix it. I'm going to a group. I wrote letters to your parents and to Dana. I told them the truth. You can do that. It doesn't bring me back. Are you seeing her? She didn't say a name. She didn't have to. I'm seeing peace. She bit her lip, then lifted her chin. If you walk away, you'll regret it. I haven't regretted one quiet morning. She stared at me another second, turned, and left the bag on the chair by the door. I told the receptionist to put it in the break room. Luis watched me as I came back through the bay. Your ice. I'm clear. The last time Jenna came to my door, she knocked once and waited. I opened because it was time to end the theater. She stood there with her hands clasped. No props, no bag. I accept it, she said, voice steady like she'd rehearsed. I'm not giving up, but I accept it. I nodded. Good. I'm sorry for last month, she added. And for the months before. I used you as a stage. I don't know why yet. I'm learning. I want you to know that. Thank you. Is there anything I can do to make it easier? Keep it clean. Text only. We'll sign what we need to sign and move on. She wiped a cheek. Are you happier? Yes. She processed that, and for the first time didn't try to argue. Okay. She turned to go. I added, Jenna. She looked back. You said you could drop me anytime. I believed you. Turns out I could drop the act anytime too. She nodded once, as if I'd said the weather, and walked down the hall. The elevator doors closed. That was the second turn that week. The illusion of surrender that didn't change what mattered. It was over. Spring settled in. I put shelves up in the rental. I bought a used grill for my small patio. I started running again in the mornings before work, not because I wanted to be a new man, but because I liked finishing something before the sun. I moved my tools into a corner and built a workbench that fit exactly between the two outlets on the wall. It was ordinary, and it was mine. Olivia texted one Saturday. There's a community market by the river. They have terrible coffee and great peaches. You want both? I wrote, I want the peaches. I'll bring my own coffee. We drove separately and walked together. She picked up a ceramic mug with a crooked handle and smiled like it was a loyal dog. I bought a bag of screws from a guy who made art out of them. We talked easy, no category required. On the way back to the parking lot, she asked, how are your people taking it? Quietly. That good or bad? Good. They trust me to make decisions. It helps. You seem lighter, she said. I am. 2 weeks later, we had dinner at a place by the highway that does ribs and paper napkins thicker than your mortgage. We sat in a booth, ordered too much, and didn't talk about healing or journeys. We talked about schedules and foods you pretend to like for other people. I told her about the time a vendor tried to sell me a pallet by inventing a holiday. She told me about fixing her own sink because the landlord took a week to return a call. When she drove me back, we stood in the parking lot between our cars. She looked at me, careful. I like being around you, she said. It doesn't feel like work. Same. She hesitated. If this is too soon, say so. I won't be offended. It's not too soon, I answered, because I don't do careful lies. It's exactly the speed I can do. We kept it simple. 2 nights a week. No sleepovers for a while, not because of rules, but because we liked the anticipation. She came to my place, and we cooked and laughed about neighbors who argued about recycling. We didn't post anything anywhere because we weren't 14. The building noticed anyway. People gossip. I didn't care. Jenna's presence faded into paperwork and occasional email about the final logistics. She moved into a smaller place across town. Dana said she told the book club she needed a reset. Good for her. I didn't need the details. I had a grill to clean. One afternoon, as summer pooled heat in the courtyard, I carried a bag of charcoal from my truck and saw Jenna by the mailboxes. She'd come to pick up a package that got misdelivered. She turned, saw me, and paused. Hi, she said. No edge. Just human. Hey. You look good. I feel good. She nodded at the bag. Still grilling. Always. She took a breath. I wanted to thank you. For what? For leaving when you did, she said. Not dragging it out. Not yelling. Just being clear. It forced me to see it. I'm not there yet, but I'm closer. Good, I said. We were bad for each other at the end. I was bad to you, she corrected, and I gave her that. She looked like she wanted to say more, then didn't. Have a good summer. You too. I carried the charcoal up the stairs. Olivia met me at my door with a stack of paper plates. Guest of honor, she said. I brought reinforcements. We ate on my patio. Carl and Dana came by with their little girl who immediately drew chalk suns on my walkway. Louise swung in late with a bag of corn. We told the same 3 stories people tell every barbecue. The time the grill flared, the neighbor who forgot his keys, the day the power went out and nobody cared. It wasn't a highlight reel. It was Saturday. When the plates were stacked and the lights sank behind the trees, Olivia leaned on the railing next to me. She didn't ask for speeches. She didn't need them. Happy? She asked. One word, the kind you don't waste. Very. She nodded like she'd measured the answer, and it passed. A month later, I traded the truck for a used SUV with better mileage because I had different plans for my weekends now. I put a down payment on a small house on the edge of town with a driveway and a shed that begged for tools. I told my parents I was coming for Thanksgiving whether there was drama or not. There wasn't. We just ate and argued about football like we were supposed to. I kept one photo from the old life. Me at a trailhead, not even smiling, just looking like a man who'd rather walk than pose. It sat on my new mantle next to a plant Olivia picked that I hadn't killed yet. She moved in slowly, one drawer at a time, because we weren't performing this either. We were just living it. People sometimes think there has to be a grand statement at the end, a speech, a climactic scene where you win by shouting. But that's not real life. Real life is closing a suitcase, walking quietly, and never going back. It's a sentence that fits and a door that stays locked. It's the neighbor who saw you and didn't try to fix you. It's a grill that lights on the first try and a porch where you decide who gets a chair. The last thing I ever said to Jenna that mattered was in that living room when she asked me to stop. I told her I knew her, and that was the problem. What I didn't add then, but I can say now, is this. I know myself too. I know what I won't be. A joke. A warm-up. A man who takes his dignity off like a coat when he gets home. I didn't leave for a new love. I left because the old game was rigged. The payment came due when she tossed the line out there, expecting everyone to clap. Instead, people heard it. She lost the room. I gave her what she said she wanted. Then I gave myself what I needed. I didn't slam a door. I closed a chapter. My last line in that house was simple and clean. We're done being a joke. And we are.